ahead on 12 News, the shot heard round the state.
Coffee from a long way, got it!
A buzzer beater advances Hopkins to the state finals. Then, in the running for Minnesota Teacher of the Year, 2 candidates from the same Maple Grove school. But first,
a Brooklyn Center police chase ends here in Minneapolis. We'll tell you what happened coming up.
12 News starts right now. Residents of a North Minneapolis duplex will have to find a new place to live after a car thief crashed into their home.
It's the end result of a police chase early this morning that began in Brooklyn Center. And as Delane Cleveland reports, police say it's an incident that could have easily been prevented.
It's picking through everything and seeing what we're gonna get. There's a lot of irreplaceable items, you know, family stuff, pictures, videos.
A lifetime of memories.
There's a ton of stuff under this. There's a ton of stuff under that.
Reduced to a pile of rubble.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. Never had something like this happen to me.
This is the reality facing Joe Cook today after a man driving a stolen SUV slammed into his house at around 1 a.m.
I heard the noise and I ran into the room. My girlfriend was actually in that bed right there. And lucky she's alive, you know, she pretty much cheated death.
In fact, none of the 4 occupants of the duplex sustained any injuries. Police say none of this extensive damage would have happened had the owner of the vehicle used a little common sense.
In this case, it was a crime of opportunity.
Police say a man went into this Super America in Brooklyn Center early this morning with the key in the ignition of his SUV and the engine running.
The driver runs into a gas station thinking that nothing is going to happen.
While inside, someone stole his vehicle, but Brooklyn Center police spotted it minutes later.
Officers went to attempt to stop the vehicle. The driver failed to stop. A short pursuit ensued of approximately 1.1 miles.
That pursuit ended on the side of Cook's house.
We're blessed that everybody's all right. Nobody got hurt.
Yet even after surviving this ordeal, he wants to send a message to all Minnesota drivers.
Take your keys out, because this is a prime example of what can happen.
In Minneapolis, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Brooklyn Center police say the 18-year-old driver did not have a valid license and was under the influence of alcohol. Charges could come against the driver on Monday. Hopkins Royals fans are surely celebrating today.
A miracle shot ended 4 unusual overtimes for the Hopkins basketball team. Reporter Shannon Slatton found fans in Hopkins who have come to expect a miracle or two on the court.
It's either talking about sports or weather, and sports are a big deal in Hopkins.
A shot that needs no caffeine.
Oh my God, OMG moment. I said that had to be Hopkins that did that.
Has Hopkins fans thankful.
They're a team that pulls miracles out of the hat all the time.
For a miracle.
They've always been a team that's not only lucky, but very talented.
From the coffee shop.
What I haven't seen, I've read about.
To the barber shop.
A lot of them shot, but very few of them ever made from center court or beyond.
The 60-foot buzzer beater.
It was a miracle shot. It'll show up on national TV.
But it is overtime.
And the 4 overtimes that led up to it, where players just held the ball running down the clock.
I can't question Novak. He's where he is for a reason. And he's a winner.
Have people remembering another shot.
I remember that. He was laying on his, the last miracle shot, he was laying down on his back.
I can remember the Huffleiber shot from sitting on his can, making the shot, and that was something amazing.
Blake Harfarber won awards as a sophomore for making this shot in 2005.
It went in my hand, so I shot it, and it went in, so we went to another overtime and eventually won the game.
9 years later, it's a moment he's still asked about all the time.
Probably once every 3 days.
And Blake is ready to talk about it too, because he knows in Hopkins, moments like these live on.
9 years later, and people are still bringing it up all the time, even before the shot last night.
In Hopkins, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
And Channel 12 Sports Director John Jacobson was courtside at that amazing game. This one most recently. John, in your nearly 25 years of covering prep sports, have you ever seen a game play out the way this one did?
No, it was very unusual. I mean, I don't think the shot by Hoffarber was probably a more incredible shot, but the way this game went was just so strange with the holding of the ball, and then you get the last second shot that you see here from Coffee to win it. And it's a funny thing, we'll hear from him later in the show. He says they sometimes will practice those shots after practice, just kind of goofing around, and he thought, I never thought I'd have to use it in a game, but it turned out well for him.
At the right time, too.
Yeah.
And now, before the buzzer beater, the crowd gets kind of restless, and, you know, this chess match between Hopkins and Shakopee is going on. And, you know, as you said, Hopkins just holding on to the ball, waiting for that last shot. Does this, do you think, lead to a discussion about the shot clock in high school basketball?
There was certainly a lot of talk about it last night as I was following social media. And should Hopkins have held the ball, as you see Kamali Chambers did for much of the overtime periods, and trying to draw Shakopee out, or should Shakopee have come out and been aggressive on defense? They're within the rules to do what they did. Should there be one? I wouldn't mind seeing one. I think it's more likely it would happen at a state tournament level. I think the cost would be prohibitive to be able to do it at all high school games, but maybe in the state tournament. I'm sure the discussion will come up.
Very interesting.
Yeah, we know you're going to have many more
Yes.
highlights coming
Yeah.
up in sports. Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, John. An emotional meeting and now a sudden shift. Advocates of a medical marijuana bill have caused Governor Mark Dayton to at least rethink his position. Dayton met privately for 2 hours Thursday with several advocates who were part of a gathering in front of the governor's residence. For months, Dayton has sided with law enforcement on the issue. A bill that would allow first responders to administer the heroin antidote Narcan will now go to the Senate floor for a vote. Narcan helps reverse the effects of a heroin overdose, and currently only doctors and paramedics can administer the drug. The bill was heard today by the Judiciary Committee. There will likely be some minor changes made to the bill before it goes to the floor.
When a family is in the midst of a mental health crisis, it can be difficult to know where to turn for help. There is a chance for parents to get answers on Saturday at Northview Junior High in Brooklyn Park. Mental health professionals from Hennepin County will present different techniques to de-escalate situations and also prepare families if a crisis arises.
I think the important thing for families to know is that there's help out there. We are a 24/7 mobile crisis team, meaning that we come out to the communities. We meet with families in their homes, and we are there to support families for a variety of different crises.
The mental health presentation begins Saturday morning at 9:30 at Northview Junior High.
A new fitness facility plans to open in Brooklyn Park. The Anytime Fitness chain plans to build a gym in the Creekside Plaza strip mall. Construction is expected to start within a month. Anytime Fitness hopes to open early this summer. This weekend in Brooklyn Center, coin dealers from around the country are at the Earl Brown Heritage Center for the 80th annual Money Show. While this year's event is a way to see some rare coins, it's also a way to highlight proposed legislation. Right now, there are 32 other states that are exempt from sales tax on bullion-related products. Coin dealers hope to be exempt in Minnesota, too, so there's a level playing field.
From our standpoint, we really need this to pass in our state so that we can be competitive, including with our neighbors like North Dakota and Iowa, who don't have taxes on these products.
The bullion bill will head to a legislative committee on March 20th. Well, coming up, we meet two Teacher of the Year semifinalists, both from the same Maple Grove school.
And then a little bit later in sports, complete highlights from that Hopkins Shakopee state tournament thriller.
But first, a chilly weekend AccuWeather forecast.
Two Maple Grove Junior High School teachers are up for the same prestigious award.
Both educators are semifinalists for Minnesota Teacher of the Year. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us why they are both top teachers.
Today we have a writing assignment.
Charles Nelson has been a history teacher for 15 years.
I want you to answer both these questions.
He might make some history of his own by becoming the first teacher in the Osseo School District to be named Minnesota Teacher of the Year.
I'm just very grateful to work with such an incredible group of students. They're the ones that really bring out the very best in me.
There are no textbooks in his classrooms, just journals. He uses a business model to get students to relate to American history.
You can take their ideas and you can use systems diagrams to say, this is how this works, this is a fix that failed. And you can apply that then to American history, and you can make that connection with what has happened in the past to today.
I've been in this building since 1990.
Science teacher Mike Indris is up for the same award.
It's neat in the sense that somebody looked at what I've been doing for 28 years and recommended me.
Mr. Indris has taught in the district for almost 30 years. One of his former students nominated him.
I had him in class in 8th grade, and now he wants to become a science teacher, so kind of proud.
Indra says his goal is to get students to reach for the stars and never stop learning.
So the biggest thing is astronomy. It's a big unit, it's a great unit, and it's something they're going to see the rest of their lives.
Both teachers say this is not a competition, and they are thrilled to be nominated.
To have 2 people out of the same building is not competition. It means hopefully we're doing something right at Maple Grove Junior High.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Good luck to each. In late March, a panel will narrow the list down to 10 semifinalists. The Minnesota Teacher of the Year will then be named on May 4th. Coming up, an animated movie hit reaches the stage at Park Center High School.
But first in sports, the Maranatha boys basketball team shoots for a win at the state tournament. John Jacobson is in next.
All kinds of crazy things happen at the boys basketball tournament. And again, we're going to look at the Hopkins game from last night. And you talked to some of the players afterwards.
Yeah, we did. And, Shakopee actually had a chance to win in one of the overtimes. We don't really see the highlights here, but they had their opportunities. In the end, as you saw, Hopkins, of course, wins it. Hopkins boys basketball teams have played in their fair share of exciting and close games through the years. But a lot of the guys on this year's teams had no state tournament experience. Well, they got a good share of it on Thursday night. The Royals facing Shakopee in the 4A semifinals. And a quick start for Hopkins in this game. The Royals get out on the break. Jacob Wright's layup makes it a 7-0 lead. But back comes Shakopee. Booker Copeland with a three-pointer ties the game at 12, and it's turned out to be a back-and-forth game. Second half, Wright will bury a three-pointer. He scores 18 of his team's first 29 points. The Royals lead by 5. The Sabres, though, get good inside play from center Tyler Weiss. He leads Shakopee with 19 points. Final seconds of the second half. Tie game. Amir Coffey curls into the lane, and his floater to win it is off. And this game goes to overtime. And then it's the waiting game. Much of the multiple overtimes are spent with Kamali Chambers holding the ball near midcourt as Hopkins trying to draw Shakopee out of the defense. And that didn't happen. So we fast forward to the final 2 seconds of the fourth overtime. And you probably already know it's Coffey's 55-footer that beats the buzzer, sending Hopkins into a frenzy and the Royals into the state title game with a 49-46 win. Here's what Coffey and Chambers had to say after the game.
Right. That actually wasn't the play that we drawed up, but we were expecting them to come up, but they stayed back in the zone. So, I just went to go get the ball and threw up a heave and prayed to God that it went in. It feels amazing. It feels amazing. I didn't think it was going to go in, but when it went in, the exhilarating feeling, it's amazing.
It was good. It was relieving. That was actually I'm happy he hit it. But we actually shoot a little bit of those in practice. Him and Trey, they're the best half-court shooters. They goof around a little bit in practice. They throw a couple up. They make a lot, but I'm glad he made that one.
And the team that the Royals will play Saturday night also won on a buzzer beater. J.P. McCura's last-second three sends Lakeville North into the title game for the second time in 3 years. Tip-off Saturday at the Target Center between Hopkins and Lakeville North is 9 p.m. Last year's Class A runner-up, Maranatha Christian Academy of Brooklyn Park, is back in the tourney. The Mustangs facing Red Lake in the quarterfinals. Maranatha is hot early in this game. Jeremiah Hansen catching at the high post and attacks to score. Jake Mayan has a huge first half. His three part of a 15-point half for him, and it's quickly 11-3 Mustangs. Hansen also lights it up. The baseline drive makes it 28-10. He scores 16 in the half, 31 in the game. It's 45-28 MCA at the half. Red Lake puts on some full-court pressure that leads to points. James Jourdain scores, and the Warriors are within 12 points. But they just can't stop Maranatha. Josh Goldschmidt nails the jumper from the corner for three. Demario Armstrong later sets up Cameron Monson for two. Maranatha rolls to a 95-67 win. Well, in the semis earlier today, Rushford-Peterson's Jorley Howe cuts in for the hoop, and it's a 39-28 Trojans lead, but Maranatha comes back. Goldschmidt with a three. Mustangs back within four, 39-35. Cole Kingsley drives and hits the short hoop. The Trojans stretch their lead again. Armstrong with a great outlet pass to Goldschmidt for the layup. Maranatha falls short. Goldschmidt missed a three actually at the end of this game that would have won it. They lose it 53-51 and will play for third place tomorrow. Champlin Park has made 2 appearances in the state girls basketball tournament, 1999 and 2007. This year's Rebels team is 1 win away from a 3rd trip. Rebels beat Maple Grove 43-40 Tuesday night and are now riding a 6-game win streak. That run includes a victory over top seed Centennial, who Champlin Park will play in the section final Friday night.
They're a good team, great defense, great pressure on the ball. They got good inside presence, so we're just going to have to go out there, play hard, and just match their intensity.
Champlin Park and Centennial play at approximately 8 o'clock tonight, Friday, at Anoka High School. So Champlin Park, Park Center, and Maranatha girls all playing in section finals here on Friday night.
All right, another round of excitement.
Yeah, it will
All
be.
right, thanks, John. Still ahead, more than 100 cast and crew members and one very large prop.
Now, Park Center students needed extra teamwork to put on Shrek the Musical.
If you like the movie, there's a good chance you'll enjoy the stage version as well.
Park Center High School decided on Shrek for its spring musical, and students have had to learn the true meaning of teamwork to pull it off. Cassie Bonstrom has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
And it's a great, great fairy tale for children of all ages, really.
Park Center's version of Shrek the Musical, of course, has the main players, the green ugly ogre. You don't even know me. The beautiful princess.
I want 11 seconds flat.
And the hilarious donkey. But to see the true teamwork that's required of a 100-member cast and crew, look no further than the dragon.
We've had a master puppeteer come in and work with the ladies so they know how to make her look like she's alive. And it's just been really, really cool to watch these girls kind of turn into this character.
5 girls operate the massive prop.
It's really heavy, so it hurts our backs a lot.
It may not be the biggest character in the show, but it's definitely the biggest character on stage at 28 feet long and 9 feet tall.
I have to control the mouth, so when the actual singer for Dragon is singing, she has to be singing, and I have to blink and guide the body of the dragon where to go.
Number one thing is communication. Without communication, there was no way we'd be doing this.
The girls can't talk on stage, so they've learned to follow each other's lead.
If I see the head go up, I know to go up, and if it goes down, I know to go down.
It's taken a lot of practice, but the girls say the experience has made their friendship stronger.
We really bonded because of that, because we have to work together.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Gotta love the dragon. Shrek the Musical opens tonight at Park Center High School at 7:30. It runs this weekend and next. Tickets are $8 for adults, $6 for students and seniors. Great show. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Community Corner is coming up next. Oh, we even have a little time to spare.